Good day everyone, welcome to another episode in our What If series where we bring you insights in the format of a what if question on the ever-evolving landscape of employment law. I am Ross Simon from Maserumule, and in today's episode we shall unpack what if an employer decides to use polygraph testing in the workplace. What are the applicable legal considerations and implications? Firstly, what is a polygraph test? It is a test used to verify a person's truthfulness and is often called a lie detector test. Is there any law controlling the use of polygraph in South Africa? There is no specific labour legislation at this point to control the use of the test or to protect the employee's rights against the abuse of the test. Can one be compelled to undergo a polygraph test? An employee may not be compelled to undergo a polygraph examination unless she or he agrees to it, a collective agreement or contract of employment provides for it, and the agreement must be in writing. The individual should be informed that the examinations are voluntary. Only questions discussed prior to the examination will be used. He or she has a right to have an interpreter if necessary. Should he or she prefer, another person may be present during the examination, provided that person does not interfere in any way with the proceedings. No abuse in whatever way will be allowed, no discrimination will be allowed, and no threats will be allowed. When is the employer permitted to use polygraph? Generally, employers are permitted to use polygraph to investigate specific incidents where employees had access to property which is the subject of the investigation. There is a reasonable suspicion that the employee was involved in the incident. There has been economic loss or injury to the employer's business, like theft of company property. The employer is combating dishonesty in positions of trust. The employer is combating serious alcohol, illegal drugs, or narcotics abuse and fraudulent behavior within the company. And the employer is combating deliberate falsification of documents and lies regarding true identity of the people involved. Who gets the polygraph test results? Polygraph results can only be released to an authorized person. Generally, it is the person who has undergone the polygraph test, the examinee, and the person representing the employer or government agency that requested the examination. And lastly, what is the status of polygraph tests at the CCMA? Polygraphists have been accepted as expert witnesses whose evidence needs to be tested for reliability. The duty of the commissioner is to determine the admissibility and reliability of the evidence. Polygraph tests indicate whether the subject has answered the questions truthfully but are not regarded as 100% accurate. They may not be interpreted as implying guilt, but may be used to support other available evidence that suggests that the employee concerned did indeed commit the alleged misconduct. In other words, polygraph test results on their own are not a basis for proving that someone committed an act or omission as alleged by the employer, but may be used as a factor in determining the probabilities. Because polygraph tests are regarded as not being entirely reliable, dismissals based solely on the result of a polygraph test have generally been found to be unfair. Should you be interested and require further information on polygraph testing, kindly refer to my colleague's video on our website. The link to that video may be found in the description below. Colleagues, that brings us to an end of this week's episode. Thank you for joining us. We hope you have found our discussion informative. If you have any questions or comments, we'd love to hear from you. You can find us on social media, or you can email me on ross@massconsulting.co.za. Until next time, bye-bye.